Hi, this is Dreama Simone. I'm trying to record a biblical version of, I don't have my makeup on today, but a biblical version of uh, The Wizard of Oz. So let's see if I can get to the beginning of this tape. Over there. And believe me, you'd be surprised how many things I don't have conveniences of. And it is not funny. It just is not. Anyhow, this is from Mind and Heart. Over the Rainbow. We're on the process of Mind and Heart. Or Over the Rainbow. These are the two sides of this. And it is the Unity Church of Dallas at Forest Lane, Dallas, Texas. This was done on 2/12 of '03. Reverend Ellen Davenport did this. This was Wednesday night services to have you to understand the Wizard of Oz. I hope this
The Wizard
helps.
of Oz. The story is older than any of us, I think. It was first written in 1900 by Frank Baum, and then MGM made the movie in 1939. I first saw it as a movie on TV, probably just black and white TV. I didn't know for a while that Dorothy walked into this technicolor world and she got Oz. But watching The Wizard of Oz was a ritual of my childhood. It was broadcast once a year. In February, I think. And I always waited for it, and I had all the songs memorized, and I knew where the commercials were.
Going on with some housework.
Now, of course, I own the video, the special 50th anniversary edition, or something like that. So I can watch it whenever I want, which kind of takes some specialness out of it, but it also gives me a chance to look more deeply at the messages that are in it, the meaning of it, and to try to understand why this story has touched so many people for so long, and why we never seem to get tired of it. It's become such a part of our culture. It starts out actually a little like Star Wars, which is a series we did a few months ago. Remember, Luke Skywalker was living on this desert planet, and he was just a bored, sullen farm boy. Well, Dorothy is living in the black and white world of Kansas. She's a bored farm girl. And she's a little neglected and disconnected, and just as she is outgrowing her little girl clothes, she's outgrowing her surroundings and the people in her life. Do you know that feeling? We like to call it divine restlessness. It's when we know there has to be something more than this, somewhere over the rainbow. And that feeling can be uncomfortable, but it's God tapping on our hearts, saying, there is more. You know, M.A. Cady says in Lessons in Truth, one of our basic unity books, the desire in our hearts means it's already available to us. Whatever we're yearning for is out there, or we wouldn't be feeling it. Now, when I talk about desire, I'm not talking about lust or cravings or addiction. It's heart desire, the reason we're here. I do think heart desires are the best clue we have to our purpose. It's what we came to do. And sometimes it takes a twister to turn our lives upside down and force us into our good, into living color. This story is so rich with symbolism and characters that we can interpret metaphysically. And I decided to start with Toto. The dog. Toto is a word that actually in Latin means everything, total. Toto the dog was in danger from the beginning. Mrs. Gulp lives near Dorothy's farm, and Toto chases her cat. Mrs. Gulp hates Toto, and she has decided to do something about him. So in this scene, there's a couple things going on. You'll see Dorothy betrayed by all the adults in her life. But you'll also see how important Toto is to her. It's as if a part of herself is being ripped away, and it is. And we'll talk about that after we watch this short film. That dog's a nice facility. I'm taking him to death and it's sure he's surprised. You scared me, Turtle? Oh, you can't. You mustn't. I am. I'm so hungry. You don't let her win.
Of course we will. We will.
Please, Daddy. Please, I don't know he was doing anything wrong. I'm the one that ought to be punished. I let him go in the garden. You can tell me to go without suffering. You don't handle that dog. I'll move it out and keep him the whole time. There's a law protecting folks against dogs that bite. How would it be if you keep him tied up? He's really gentle. It's simple, that is. Yeah. That's the sheriff to decide. You can go to the line and take it. If you want to go against the law. I was trying to go against the law, Dorothy. I'm afraid poor Toto has to go. Now you see, here's what I'm thinking. He can't attack me again. Oh, no, I won't let you take him. You go away. I'll catch you myself. Dorothy. You get your own way. I'm so hungry, honey. I'm sorry. I don't know. Put him in the basket, Andy. Elmira, go. Just because you own half the county doesn't mean you have the power to run the rest of it. For 23 years I've been trying to tell you what I thought of you. And now, well, being a Christian woman, I can't say it. So, Dorothy decides to run away to save Toto. She goes out for a while, but she gets back home just as the tornado hits. And she's knocked unconscious, and the house flies up into the tornado, and it lands in Oz. And it was all because of Toto. Toto plays that kind of pivotal role throughout the movie. He's the one who pulls Dorothy out of her comfort zone every time. He leads her where she needs to go, and he reveals to her what she needs to see, even when she doesn't want to. He's an adventurous, fearless little guy. Later on, you remember the movie, he barks at the lion and reveals that this lion is just a coward. Toto escapes from the witch's castle and goes for help when Dorothy is locked up. It's Toto who, toward the end, pulls back the curtain on the wizard and exposes him as a fraud. And at the very end, Toto jumps out of the hot air balloon to chase the cat, and Dorothy is stranded, and that's when she learns she had the power all along. So Toto is the soul. He's our attraction magnet that draws to us the experiences we need but probably wouldn't choose for ourselves. I mean, you know that. Sometimes when unexpected things happen to us, we'll say, well, it must have been a soul choice. Meaning, it's something that we drew to us from a level deeper or higher than we were consciously aware of. And the soul, or higher self, like Toto, stays right there with us through whatever happens next, and it can summon help when we need it. That's part of the law of attraction, too. People and money and ideas will show up in our lives when we need them. Our inner Toto. Our inner Toto can summon help. All right, you laugh, but don't you know this part of yourself? It seems to attract things that at first you didn't think you wanted. It leads you into circumstances you would not have chosen, and sometimes you're annoyed with it because it upends all your plans. And do we regret that in the long run? And would Dorothy regret having gone to Oz? Of course not. Our inner Toto pulls us into experiences that are not to be missed. Experiences that are so pivotal and important in our lives that they define who we become. And the Toto, the attraction magnet, provides whatever we need along the way, if we allow it. So no wonder Dorothy protects Toto so fiercely all through the movie. She helps her stumble into uncharted territory. She's only interested in her growth, and leads her into it. So it's Dorothy and Toto, finally alone together, who open the door of the farmhouse onto the beautiful, colorful land of Oz. And Dorothy is alone there just for a few minutes when she meets Glinda, the good witch of the north. And Glinda has a question. She asks Dorothy, are you a good witch or a bad witch? It sounds a little silly on the surface, and Dorothy says, well, I'm not a witch at all. But it's really a profound question for us. Are you a good witch or a bad witch? The Bible says, choose you this day whom you will serve. We're creating our lives with our choices. Not just our choices for action, but our choices of thought. And Jesus hated anything lukewarm. He liked passion. He said, let your words be yes, yes, or no, no. Choose. Are you a good witch or a bad witch? Okay, Jesus didn't say that last part. And Dorothy, who does not yet recognize her own powers of creation, plays small. She says, I'm not a witch at all. I'm Dorothy Gale from Kansas. So it's about that time that the Munchkins come out to meet her. And they greet her warmly, not just because they're loving and friendly, but because her house fell on the witch of the East, who had been tormenting them. Think of the Munchkins as a childhood tribe, the group that gets us started in life. If they do the job well, we will feel thoroughly loved, and then they will send us off to find our own way. Follow the yellow brick road. They let us go. So let's watch that part of the movie. This segment is about 7.5 minutes, and a lot happens. So pay attention to the Munchkins as they're getting Dorothy ready for her journey, but also to the Wicked Witch and the Ruby Skippers and Glinda, because those are all things we'll talk about later. Toto, by the way, has brought Dorothy where she needs to be, and now he's happy just to trot alongside for a while. over to Daddy and he was today. I see you get out of arms all together. No, I'd give anything to get out of arms all together. But what is the way that describes it? I can't go the way I came. Oh, that's true. The only person who I know is that a person runs from liberty arms with me. Liberty arms? It's very wicked. And very good, but very wicked. He lives in the other city. That's where I was raised. But you know who is no, I said I do. You are the only one that's to know. And I think we're going to face the border against it. And never let those living with those unclose people in. Or you will be a commander of the wicked together. How do I start for you? The only thing is start at the beginning. The only thing is finding the yellow brick road. What happened if I kept following the yellow brick road? Wow, people come and go so quickly here. Follow the yellow brick road. 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 So off she goes on her spiritual path to see what she finds in the land of Oz. It will grow her up. And she's wearing those ruby slippers. She's tight inside of them. Their magic must be very powerful. Think of the ruby slippers as our principles, our understanding of spiritual law. Never let them off your feet for a minute, or the wind will get you. You have to keep tight inside of them and learn how to use them. In a way, the slippers represent God's gift to us. They're our divine inheritance, which is freely given, no strings attached. Divine law exists equally for all of us. The way the shoes just appeared on her feet, a gift. And we can use them or not, the shoes or the divine law, according to our understanding. And I think we spend most of our lives learning how to use them. They represent the spiritual laws within which we live. And we'll see at the end of the movie, Dorothy's limited thinking when she still believes she needs a physical way to get home. And she learns that it can be accomplished through the power of her thought, through spiritual law. Once we understand that's how the universe works, we know we are co-created with God and we have more power than we can imagine. So miracles become a regular part of our lives. But it takes faith, doesn't it? It's not easy to put faith in the ruby slippers, but at least that's something you can see. It may be even harder to have faith in God, the divine, the universe, whatever you're calling it these days. It's that part of our existence that is so much bigger than we are. We're so much more than our bodies or our experience. We're even bigger than the Toto part of us that guides us to our destiny. There's a God part of us, too. And so we have faith in that power, and faith that we can tap into that power anytime. Jesus said we only need the faith of a mustard seed and we can move mountains. The disciple Peter represents faith, and I love Peter because his faith wavered so much. Remember, he was the one who tried to walk on water and sank. On the other hand, he was the only one who got out of the boat and cried. That's enough faith. We don't have to do this perfectly. We don't have to have 100% faith every day. A little will do, because the universe is biased in our favor. And when we take one step in faith, the universe will take 1,000 steps toward us. So if we can have just a little faith, our lives will begin to change. And just imagine the stronger our faith, the more we can do. We use the ruby slippers, the spiritual laws, by having faith that they work, by knowing that our thoughts and feelings have creative power, and by knowing that the more we use and trust spiritual law, the more it works for us. But Dorothy hasn't learned that yet. She's just skipped off down the yellow brick road, with all the love and support of the Munchkins behind her, and guidance from Glinda and Toto at her side, but unaware of the power she carries on her feet. She's only begun the journey home. And we'll spend the next 3 weeks following her journey on the yellow brick road.
I hear it's off. Oh, excuse me. Okay, let me stop this. Hope you enjoyed it. I think scrubbing the oven.